Welcome back to the Football Tragics. It is match day 33. The season is almost over. We have a 1 point gap at the top of the table. They're both in the Champions League. They're both in the Cup. It is a short round. Morty, obviously on the last podcast, we were talking about Benzema. You said you liked Real Madrid more. Let me pitch you this. Obviously, you're a Liverpool fan, so this is a hypothetical. They win the Champions League. Benzema scores the winning goal. Is he the Ballon d'Or? Is he up there for the Ballon d'Or? Obviously, he's carried Madrid to the league. He's carried, arguably, Madrid to the Champions League if they do win it. Is that enough for him to win it?
Depends on how much the French still hate him. I think it genuinely comes down to if he's scoring and winning that thing, you have to. He's one of those players that have just he's bidden his time. He's done everything that's been asked of him. He's just been, I wouldn't say outshadowed because he's still putting up goals left, right, and center. But like Ronaldo was the focal point of that attack. Bale was the big money signing. Benzema was just it's almost like, I relate it back to Liverpool again. It's literally like playing Firmino in the middle of Mane and Salah. Like he gets so, not talked down, but just overlooked, so to speak. And now he's that focal point. I think Vinicius is doing really well at being great, but they're not taking away from each other. I think they're assisting, they're scoring, they're doing whatever it takes, and they're winning games, not just battering a score. I think it has to, but they're not winning, so we'll take that fairy tale out.
All right. Well, that's a conversation for another podcast, another day, probably another podcast channel, because we are here to talk about the Premier League. It is match day 33. The games have just popped up on the screen there. So if you are listening, obviously on SoundCloud, Spotify, whatever you are, it's Tottenham versus Brighton, 9:30. United versus Norwich. Watford versus Brentford. Southampton versus Arsenal. Obviously, as we spoke about, Man City will be in action against Liverpool, so that game has been postponed. It's Newcastle City versus Leicester City, and we wrap the round up with West Ham Burnley. Now, there is other games that will happen after this. However, we won't talk about them because we'll move straight on. But, Morty, let's jump straight into it. It's Tottenham Brighton.
I don't know. Brighton, they're in some form, so to speak. Tottenham, yes, their attack's in great form, but I don't know, they're still Tottenham at the end of the day, and it's been too long since they've lost. I feel as if it needs to come. Yeah. I'm going to hope for a Brighton win. 2-1.
All right.
Shithouse.
Obviously, a Brighton win, it does make that top four interesting once again. Arsenal will play Southampton. We'll get into that in a couple games, but it's my boys. It's United versus a team that I've said multiple times have no defense, no midfield, no attack. It's Norwich. It's not the early kickoff, so I'm a little bit more confident that we might have a chance in this game. But I am broken. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to keep a clean sheet like I do week in, week out. I think there's going to be goals, but I'm going to go 3-2 United. I think there's going to be enough. I don't know who's going to score the goals. Hopefully Fred. I'm loving watching Fred score, so hopefully Fred gets the goals. But Morty, surely you're not on the Norwich train right here. Surely.
No, because I can't see another season of seeing Norwich in the Prem again. But I really don't know what to expect. I don't know what I want to happen. I could happily sit here and watch a 5-5 draw and just absolutely love it because it'd just be freaking hilarious. I could also love a Norwich win. I expect a United win. Whether it will happen or not, no. But you know what? I want to see Maguire pop up for a header to score, to be down 2-1.
But hey, if he scores, I mean, I'm giving him that goal last week. He scored an absolute cracker. He sent De Gea the wrong way. If anything, a goal that Maguire deflected kept Everton in the Premier League.
What do you mean? He's trying to claim handballs from his own teammate.
Okay. That's a very, very bad still image. Obviously, it was for the offside, but it was quite funny. It did get a bit of a roll up, but all I know is Maguire did it in a game that meant nothing for us because we weren't getting top four. Matip scored the same thing. So he's obviously looked at his idol and seen that he deflected a goal in, so he did the exact same thing for Kevin De Bruyne. So if If you want to hurt me, I'm going to hurt you back, Morty. But give me a prediction on this game so we can move on because I'm sick of talking about United.
I'm going to 3-3 goal fest.
Okay. We'll move on. Obviously, the next game, it is Watford. It is Brentford. Watford have offered nothing the last couple of weeks, whereas Brentford have picked up, obviously, a big result last weekend. Massive result against Chelsea. I see it more of the same. I'm going to go 3-0 Brentford. And I can't wait for Watford to get relegated for firing Ranieri. So, Morty, what are your thoughts on this one?
Much the same. Brentford 3-0. They're just a step above, and Watford are. They just know they're going down. They're not even looking at it and going, "Yeah, we can be saved." They've been through managers. They've had enough. They just want to go back to the championship and just have a bit of fun. We want to see cycling GK Cameron back in goals.
Yeah, obviously, you know what? He's better off known for that. So he might as well just stop and just kind of go play locally, chuck a camera in the back of the net and get a few 100,000 fans on TikTok, whatever it is, Facebook, Instagram, and happy days. But Morty, we'll move on. It's Southampton. They just got battered versus Arsenal, who can feel that top four slipping away. Is this a bounce back week for Arsenal or is it a bounce back week for Southampton?
There's bouncing back and then there's coming back from a 6-0 loss, and I don't think there is a real reason why you can turn around a 6-0. You when you've lost 6-0, you just know. Even if Arsenal win 1-0, it's still anything because they'll just be battling on and going, "Yeah, there's another 5 coming" the whole time on the pitch. You just know you'd be giving it to them that whole bloody time. And Southampton have no real changes to make. Like, who are they bringing in to fix up the defence? Because there's not much better waiting on the sidelines. And Arsenal need it. They need to win. If they want any chance of holding on, Tottenham are already going to have their game played, so they'll know that result. That'll push them points further above, or even if they lose, they'll still be at points above. So must win for Arsenal, and they need to get it done. So I'm going to say 2-0. I expect 2-1. But yeah, Arsenal should get it done.
Baxter, I'm sorry. I don't see Arsenal losing this game, so I'm going to say sorry in advance for obviously the impending message I'm going to get from you on Monday when they have obviously dropped points. But I'm going to go Arsenal 2-0. There's more for them to play than what Southampton do. They're not getting relegated. They're not going down. They're not getting Europe. So Arsenal have everything to go for. They're not in any other competition. So Arsenal 2-0. And again, if they lose, I'm going to be a happy day. I'm going to come on here next week and I'm going to sit here go, how good I'm going to back Arsenal for the rest of the way in. Because if they lose every week, I back them. It means we have a chance at top 4. But Morty, obviously an interesting game. We did speak about it in the last podcast. It is Newcastle taking on Leicester City. Leicester have a game, obviously, tomorrow morning. They then play this game Sunday night. So less than 48 hours after they do take it on. Do you think if they win that Europa, they rest players? They rest the players in this game? No, Europa or conference, whichever one they're in. Do you think they rest players?
They're in conference.
Yeah. They're in conference. So if they win that game, do you think they rest players for this? Or do those same players back up 24 hours later and try and go for the win?
There's no chance they're backing up. There is no point. They are not. Are they in range? Where are they? No,
they're about 12 points outside.
Yeah. Yes, they've got the games in hand, but there's no point. Like, if you're going to be in conference, wait, does conference even guarantee Europa if you win it?
After you win the conference, yeah, you go up. You go up into the Euro. It's like the qualification. So you're not automatically in. You have to go through the qualification stage.
Fuck, that's how shit the thing is. You're in qualifications to get to the next one. At least if you win Europa, you're in Champions League. Small Tottenham banter, but anyway, we move on. There's no chance that they're backing up. If they win that game, there's no chance they're back. If they lose, yeah, they're going to have to. They need to get the points on the board. But Newcastle are in fine enough form. I think Newcastle probably cruise through 2-0. Leicester, if they play backing up, nothing in the tank, and if they rest, there's no depth at Leicester. So yeah, Newcastle easy win.
the Newcastle is wins. Obviously, like you said, I don't think they're in the relegation. It does push them obviously a step closer, but we will move into the last game, a team that could all but see their gloom and doom this weekend. Now, we spoke about West Ham as well. They are in that Europa. They do have a big tie again tomorrow morning. Arguably, they're not going to drop out of conference. They're probably going to go for a push for Europa, but they've got to put all their eggs in this basket. Now, they are playing Burnley. It is West Ham versus Burnley. I think if they chuck out their reserve squad after they get the job done in Europa, they're still going to get the job done against Burnley. So I'm going to go 2-1. Morty, wrap up the show. Tell me, Burnley are done. They're going to lose. They're going down. What's your score?
The problem is Burnley is going to. Burnley could sit there and Sean Dyche could sit there and tell me to my face that a 1-1 draw here is a good result for them, and that's a possibility that they're still going to stay up. And that's all they aim for every bloody game. And it's all I expect from this game is 1-1 because West Ham aren't going to give a shit. They'll be backing up after Europe. They'll have their win in the bag. Burnley, look at it and go, I do not care. 1 point, whatever it is, move on, done. 1-1 draw.
All right, Morty, before we do wrap it up, you have caught a 1-1 draw there. I'm going to ask you for your predictions. I don't want an explanation. I'm just going to ask for your prediction. We'll start with the game that your team's not involved in. It's Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Give me a score. Who's going through to the final?
I said it the other week, and I'm going to stick to it. I think Palace somehow scrap it.
All right, Vieira ball.
Yeah, it's just going to happen.
You don't get an explanation. Vieira ball is off to the final. Manchester City versus Liverpool. Okay, I know who you're going to say is going to win because I don't think you're going to pick Man City. I don't think you're going to go against Liverpool, but let me put it this way. Does Liverpool win it in normal time or does it go into extra time or penalties?
No, it's a normal time game. We don't do extra time penalties against that big a squad. We get it done or we're losing. That's what it is.
So can you give me a score prediction?
I don't know. I don't know how many injuries are coming out this week. Because there looks like there could be a few. And I'm going to 3-1 Liverpool.
All right, I'm going to go Chelsea. I think they've got nothing else to play for now. Nothing major to play for now. Obviously, the league's over. The Champions League's over. So I'm going to go Chelsea 5-0. I think they're going to go out. They're going to absolutely belt Crystal Palace. They're going to flex, and then they're going to play one of you guys in the final. Just because you're on here, like, listen, if we had a Manchester City fan on here, I'd be saying Liverpool. But just because you're on here, Manchester City is going to win. They're going to face Man City in the final. They're going to get belted. City are going to lift the trophy. I hope they don't. Actually, hang on, let me think about this. Hang on. No. If you guys win the FA Cup, there's no chance Liverpool or City can, I hope, do the treble because I hope the other ones win the league. But I am going to go.
We win this one where every possibility of getting the treble. But if City then win,
you aren't going to win a
they're
league.
the possibility.
You aren't going to win a league.
Still a treble to be won there.
Who's in the Carline Cup final? Is there a final for that? Has that been played yet? Who's in that?
I don't know. If United keep going the way they're going, they might find themselves in the next year.
All right. I'm going to go. I've taken it back. I can deal with you guys winning an FA Cup. I can't deal with City potentially having that treble. The same way I can't deal. If I had to pick between you or City, I'm going you guys to win the Champions League because I can put up with you guys winning another Champions League, but fuck yous in the league. I can put up with City winning another league, but fuck them in the Champions League. So it's going to be a cracking round of football, Morty. As always, thank you for joining me. We will be back with the, obviously, review show. But until then, we have been the Football Tragics. Make sure to tune in.
Thanks.